changes to the combat step, card previews, rules, and universes beyond. We have all that to talk about coming right up. Welcome to Wizards Whimsy. I'm your host, Patrick. We have a lot to go over today, and we're going to start with what's happening first, and that's with Foundations. There's a couple of things that's happening with that set before we move into what's going on with next year's set. With Foundations, there's a rule change to combat damage. The way that the combat step is working now, or specifically the damage step, is that when you attack with, say, a 5/5, and your opponent blocks with a 3/3 and a 4/4, and you decide you're going to assign the damage to the 3/3, and then they pump it with a spell, making it a 6/6 or 7/7, and then it kills your creature. They no longer get to do that. They have to do it whenever they declare blocks. They have to use their pump spells then, because once it moves to damage, you as the attacker assigns the damage, and you do not have to assign lethal damage to each creature. You can assign a couple points of damage as you see fit across however many creatures are blocking your creature. There's no longer that opportunity to cast that pump spell. It's once damage is assigned, it happens. So it pushes back the combat trick to have to happen before damage is being assigned. The declaring blockers you have to hold priority or do it before you declare blockers. You have to use your pump spells or your combat tricks then, because once it moves to the damage phase, the attacking player assigns the damage and then the damage happens. With Foundations, the other thing that is happening is that they are reintroducing MSRPs. On their website, whenever it talks about the MSRP, you can look and see that they have additionally, all MSRPs will be listed in US dollars and will only be listed for certain products. We will typically list an MSRP for individual play boosters, collector boosters, bundles, and commander decks, meaning that they're not giving an MSRP for your boxes, for your play booster boxes. They're just giving it for the individual packs, and they are changing it depending on what it is. For Foundations product, a play booster pack MSRP is $5.25, with a collector booster being $24.99, the starter collection being $59.99, the Jumpstart booster being $5.49, the bundle being $49.99, and the beginner box being $29.99. The Innistrad Remaster products, the play booster packs, will be $6.99, and the collector booster packs will be $29.99. Additional MSRPs for the Aether Drift will be set as follows. Play boosters will be $5.49. Collector boosters will be $24.99. The commander decks will be $44.99. The bundle will be $53.99, and the specialty bundle will be $79.99. Now, I'm happy to see that price for the commander decks being at $44.99. $45 is kind of how it was right around when COVID hit, when the pandemic happened and everything shut down. You were getting the yearly set commander decks at $45. Now, they did introduce the two decks that came out with the sets for a little while that were like $20 each. I wish they would bring those back, but this is where we are now. They did not put anything in here for the universes beyond, but if you actually go ahead and multiply, do some multiplication with Foundations being at $5.25, if you multiply that times 36, you're looking at around $189 for a play booster box. Is a good idea of where the price will be. Now, if you go onto Amazon and take a look at the play booster, it's only at $132. So there is a little bit of benefit, and you can save a little bit of money if you buy a play booster. If you're looking for just certain cards, I would go to the single market and just try to order, singles from there. If you look at the Play Booster box of Foundations at $132.11 that you can see on Amazon, you're looking at about $3.67 per pack, which is saves you a couple of dollars. Your local game stores are going to sell at whatever price they feel that they can get for it, depending on how much they have to actually pay for the boxes. Let's look at Innistrad Remastered. If you look here for a Play Booster, it's $251.64. That's the pre-order price. Now, if you multiply that $6.99 a pack, that is what you come up with. So there's really no wiggle room whenever it comes to this set. Now, whenever it comes to Aether Drift, it might change a little bit, but I would not look at that happening. Now, if you look at the Collector Booster, now if we look at Innistrad Remaster and we look at the Collector Booster, they're selling each pack for $29.99. You get 12 packs in a Collector Booster, and if you look and you can see, they're listing it at $359.88. If you multiply the $29.99 times 12, you come up with $359.88. So it doesn't look like there'll be much wiggle room that your stores will have on pricing out. I mean, this is Amazon, of course. Amazon, the Magic store on Amazon, they will actually lower the prices once the set gets closer to being released, especially once any pre-orders or orders from your local game stores have already went through and they've already paid that price. Now, a lot of this stuff is already set for Foundations. They have not dropped the prices on the Innistrad Remastered yet. Whenever Wizards decides in their Amazon store to drop that price, it'll be once all the orders have come through from all the LGSs, and they'll probably drop that price closer to what the LGS is paying for the boxes. So it incentivizes you to skip your local game store and go to Amazon and shop online. Some of the larger stores will actually be able to match the prices because they can order a lot of bulk, and whenever they increase an order with a lot of bulk, usually get a better deal for what you're ordering, especially if you're ordering a large amount. But your local game stores, especially your smaller local game stores, they're going to be stuck with having to pay a higher price for the products because they're not able to order as much. So moving on to 2025 with the releases that are coming out, the biggest thing that's happening there is with the Universes Beyond. The Universes Beyond sets that come out, so your actual sets, kind of like Lord of the Rings, whenever they're released, I think the first one will be a Spider-Man, and that will be legal in all formats, meaning it's going to be legal in Standard, Pioneer, Modern, Pre-Modern, Commander, Legacy, Vintage. It'll be legal in all of the formats. So moving forward, you're going to see a mix of your regular Magic products and the Universes Beyond, and they will be played in every format. So that is a big change that we're going to have to get used to as Magic players. Mentioning these secret layers that are coming out this year, or have come out in the past, or the Universes Beyond specifically. The Universes Beyond that has happened before 2025, they will only be legal in the formats that they were printed for and that they are subject to. So your Lord of the Rings will not be standard legal unless they reprint a Lord of the Rings set later on. So you're going to have a mix of Universes Beyond and regular Magic. Now that also means that with their products that they're going to have to depower them, or they're going to have to power creep the hell out of Standard. And they mentioned about trying to depower Standard a few years back, but it's still, right now, it's like a turn 4, turn 5 format for the most part. And that's what Modern's been. Modern, whenever I first started playing Modern, everyone said, hey, it's a turn 4 format. So if you're not casting something to win the game, or, to slow your opponent down by turn 4, the game is over. And I've seen that plenty of times playing in Modern tournaments that, hey, turn 4, it's over. You know, either you win or your opponent wins. WotC's is looking to have Standard, you know, get back into its glory days of being the entry point into Magic. So that's one of the reasons that they are pushing for the Universes Beyond and for those to be Standard legal, is because they want people playing Standard. They want people getting in on, you know, at the ground floor. You know, Commander for the past 5-6 years has been their best-selling product. You can see with the cards that they've previewed so far for Foundations that they are still pushing, you know, for Commander, and we're actually going to go over a few of those cards. So while looking through Foundations and the cards that they previewed, they did preview some for the regular play boosters, and then they also previewed some cards for your starter kit. And the starter kit, they have the same symbol, so it's looking like they will be Standard legal as well. So we're going to look at the play boosters first, a few of the cards. Let's look at Tiny Bones Bauble Burglar. He's a 2-drop 1/3 legendary creature skeleton rogue. Whenever an opponent discards a card, exile it from their graveyard with a stash counter on it. During your turn, you may play cards you don't own with stash counters on them from exile, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. You can pay 4 and tap Tiny Bones. Each opponent discards a card, activate only as a sorcery. Kato Cunning Infiltrator is a 3-drop, 1 generic and 2 blue. Planeswalker Kato comes in with 3 loyalty. He has a static ability. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a loyalty counter on Kato. +1 up to 1 target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. Draw a card, then discard a card. You can neg 2, which is create a 2/1 blue ninja creature token, or you can do his ultimate, which is a neg 9. You get an emblem with whenever a player casts a spell, you create a 2/1 blue ninja creature token. Progenitus is getting a reprint. He is a 10 mana, 2 white, 2 blue, 2 black, 2 red, 2 green, 10/10 legendary creature, Hydra Avatar, protection from everything. If Progenitus would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal Progenitus and shuffle it into its owner's library instead. Arbo the First Fang is a 3-drop, 2 generic and a white legendary creature cat avatar. He's a 2/2. Other cats you control get +1/+1. Whenever Arbo or another non-token cat you control enters, create a 1/1 cat creature token. Phyrexian Arena is getting a reprint in this set as well. It is an enchantment that is 3, 1 generic and 2 black. At the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and you lose a life. Now, we will be going to Tarkir in 2025, but we're getting some dragons in Foundation, and probably one of the best dragons that we're getting is the Twin Flame Tyrant. He is a 5-drop creature dragon, 3/5 flying. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals double that damage instead. Niv Mizzet Visionary is another dragon. He's a 6-drop, 4 generic, a blue and a red, legendary creature, dragon wizard. He's a 5/5. Flying, you have no maximum hand size. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, you draw that many cards. So let's go and look at some of the cards from the starter set. And you'll notice that they do have the exact same set symbol as from the regular set. So looking at it, it appears that these will also be standard legal. You have Maelstrom Pulse. It's a 3-drop, 1 generic, a green and a black sorcery. Destroy target non-land permanent and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent. Darksteel Colossus. This is a great commander card. It's not quite as good as Blightsteel Colossus, but it is still a beast to deal with. He is an 11-drop artifact creature golem. He's an 11/11 with trample. Indestructible. If Darksteel Colossus would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal Darksteel Colossus and shuffle it into its owner's library. Mystical Teachings. This is not something that I've really seen outside of Commander. It is a 4-drop instant. It's 3 generic and a blue. Search your library for an instant card or a card with flash, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle. It has flashback, 5 and a black. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. Gilded Lotus is also being reprinted. It's a 5-drop artifact that has add 3 mana of any one color. Ball Lightning is a 3-drop, 3 red mana, creature elemental, 6/1, trample, haste. At the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this creature. Now this is a card that is seen in Modern in the mono red decks. I remember seeing this a few times. Not every deck was running it that was mono red, but there was a lot of them because getting in with, trample over for 4 or 5 points of damage, it works pretty well. Getting in that damage with Ball Lightning. I think it might be too powerful for standard. We're also getting all of the temples. They're getting reprinted, like Temple of Abandon. It is, a land that taps for red or green. When this land enters, scry 1. We're getting all 10 of those. Now, they do have more cards that they previewed, and I'll have a link in the description if you want to go look at them. I just wanted to kind of touch base with some of the cards that they have, and you can see that, with some of the power level, it is definitely for Commander or being, too slow to play in any of the other formats. You can see that is a Commander card. I'm not sure if those are going to be exclusive to the starters. We did go over the regular play boosters. We did go over some of those cards, and then we went over some of the cards from the starter deck. It looks like it's going to be one of those things where, hey, here's standard, but it's also Commander. I mean, I know that they actually build cards for each format or try to put cards in for each format. That, hey, this card here is going to be great for standard. This card's going to be great for modern. This card's going to be great for Commander. Hey, thank you for taking the time to check out this video. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe button, and leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on, how they're doing combat damage, starting with Foundations. With Universes Beyond being legal in every format starting in 2025, with those products being released in 2025 and beyond. Are you looking forward to jumping back into Standard? Is it going to get you back into Pioneer or back into Modern? What are your thoughts on the Universes Beyond being legal in every format? I would love to hear your thoughts on that. And do you think that this will be a positive thing, getting more players playing Magic, or do you think this will disenfranchise all the Magic players that have been the core of Magic for the past 30 years? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, so make sure you leave a comment whenever you're checking out this video. And until next time, keep slinging those spells.